First in the tank is an up-and-coming automobile producer who gained some popularity for his models A through S and is now seeking a boost from the Sharks for his new Model T design.
Hey Sharks, my name is Henry Ford and I am the owner and founder of my company, Ford Motors. I am seeking $20,000 in exchange for 13% of my company. Let me ask you, Sharks, do you want to be a part of the thrill and luxury that comes with riding in your car and your hair blowing through the wind? Do you want to feel and look stylish while you're doing it? Do you want all of this for your everyday life as a very accessible option for you? Well, you're in luck. I have had success in the past producing vehicles that satisfy many people across the world, but now I bring you the most valuable model of its time, the Model T. Up to this point, cars have been luxury items limited to only those fortunate enough to purchase them. With my new model, I'm going to take the same quality of those cars and scale it down and make it accessible for everybody. You may be concerned about how production on this level is viable, but after many years in the production industry, I have invented an advanced assembly line that will maximize efficiency and quantity of my products. This would be instrumental in selling my Model T. Here you can see this process in motion. Before I implemented my assembly line, production of a single Model T took around 12 hours, but now with my assembly line implemented, production rates have dropped to 3 hours per vehicle. This decrease in production time has shown great increase in profit and reach in my company, as well as made employees much more satisfied. So Sharks, with all this in mind, here are 3 models of my car that I will give to you.
Wow. Very interesting. Very nice.
So now, who would like to move forward with me and put the world on wheels?
Well, I really like how this looks, especially with how little it costs to make a car. But do you sell in any other colors?
Well, that's an interesting question. Initially, we did. In the past, we have had options for customers to buy green, red, dark blue, and gray, as well as brown and maroon. But we have slowly moved away from making these extremely available, as it does slow down production using the assembly line at a substantial amount. Because my main goal is to spread this technology around the world and produce substantial amounts for people in any financial situation, we have been going with black as pretty much the sole color of the model.
Don't you think this would decrease overall interest in your company?
I truly believe that the profit and reach we get of producing one color greatly outweighs the benefits of allowing for a few extra colors.
I see.
So, fastest produced car in the world it seems. How much does it cost?
Well, currently a Ford Model T sells for around $850, which is still pretty exclusive. But we project by perfecting the assembly line, it will only sell for around $350. In the next 10 to 15 years, making it feasible to own for almost anybody.
$300? Wow, that's very cheap. I'm concerned about it not being profitable.
Well, the thing is, with our current plan, as production time decreases, so does the cost to buy and make pretty proportionally, so our profit margin will remain roughly the same per vehicle. With the increased accessibility though, the overall profit of the company will increase greatly over time.
Well, I like the sound of profit in the long run, but lowering costs that much and keeping your profit margins the same does not seem likely. What is your profit margin right now?
We profit about 14% of what each car costs to make.
And do you think that is sustainable?
Yes.
If you are so certain that you can sustain the profit, what are you seeking the money for?
Almost all of this money will go to further developing my assembly lines.
Can you explain how the assembly line works? Because I've heard great things about it, but I'm just unsure as to how you got to be able to utilize it.
Of course, my company made its original automobiles the same as any other company, from the frame up on stationary wooden horses. This took a lot of time, especially if each man worked individually on their own car. From here, I moved to assigning each man a job and having them work on each car together. This is where the 12 hours came from. Instead of moving the men around the car, however, I thought to now move the car around the men. Car frames are pulled by rope, and with each station of assembly, they move from man to man as they are pulled down the line. This way, we can have many cars being assembled at once, in an organized fashion, one step at a time, with specific men specializing in specific jobs.
Oh,
Wow,
that's great.
pretty cool.
Well, that is a great idea. What is your plan to improve on this? How would the money help?
Well, as of now, the cars are being pulled by a rope down in a straight line. My plan in the future is to engineer many other complex machines, to make sub-assembly lines for smaller parts and interconnect them with the main one.
So, you want to automate the entire process?
Well, pretty much. All of the movement of the parts will be automated. but manpower will be used in many stations to put these parts together.
Wow, well you better know what you're doing.
I do.
Ford, do you have any patents on this?
No, I do not have patents on the assembly line nor the Model T. I do, however, have a trademark on the Model T engine.
I think you should patent the assembly line. That's a really innovative idea.
Well, the thing is, I didn't really invent any of the technology that comes with the line or the automobile. I simply am just the first person to try and maximize the combination between them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Ford. You seem to be not very knowledgeable and maybe onto something big. However, there are a lot of questions that come financially with this. In terms of profit, I feel comfortable in the short term. But unless the company truly works out in the long term, like you said, how would it be safe for me to buy into your product?
Don't forget what you say is the cars are the same as others, they just simply cost.
Yeah.
Mr. Morgan, I see how you think that, but I think you'll truly regret not making me an offer.
Come on, Morgan, you can't buy into the long run?
He's scared to take a risk. Risks are necessary in this business. You know that.
Mr. Ford, let me ask you this. From what I've heard, it seems your main goal is not as strong than money, as it is as making automobiles accessible around the world. Is this true?
I cannot say that that's wrong.
So you're
but-
coming onto the show, but this is about helping us make our own money, but you're not even prioritizing profits.
You have to trust the process, Morgan.
I'm sorry, the extreme lowering of costs over time scares me away, and I have major questions. For quality of price. So for those reasons, I'm out.
Well, lucky for you, Mr. Ford, even though he's not willing to wait for the profit in the long run, you still have two men right here that are.
You said you cannot trademark or patent the assembly line, so now all you have to sell is a car? Why is yours different from all the others in the market? Is it just the cost?
Yes, the cost of selling is the main difference.
I just still don't see how the car can be the same quality at such a reduced price.
All of the expense decrease will be a product of the decreased production. Unlike all the other companies, I am buying into the assembly line process, and that is why I'm seeking money solely for that. Nothing about the quality will change, but selling the cars at such a high rate will make the reduced price more profitable.
If reach is your overall goal, tell me how far you can actually reach. What is the extent right now? What are your locations?
Well, the company started in a workshop behind my house. But since demand has increased, I have established my industry's first U.S. assembly plant in Kansas City, along with one overseas in Manchester, England. But I do not plan to stop until I spread my influence all across the world.
That's good, but I just have one more question about the assembly line. As it advances, do you need more workers for that, and how are you paying them?
Well, my whole plan with my workers is pretty complex. The assembly line allows for less workers for each part of the vehicle. But overall, there are many workers in total, each mastering their own job. As technology advances, the amount of workers I will need will decrease. But with advanced assembly lines, I plan for the company to increase greatly, thus causing a demand for many more workers. Right now, my workers make around $2.30 a day, but I soon hope to increase this to $5, so they can afford to buy the very car they produce and contribute to my overall goal, which is accessibility.
I'm glad I got out when I did.
$5 is pretty steep, and in order to maintain this, you're asking for a large sum of money.
I understand.
I am willing to take that risk.
Yes!
I'll offer you the $20,000 you need, but I want a 25% stake in your company. I need a large stake since the benefit of buying in is solely based on potential.
I will offer you $15,000 for 20% of your company.
Rockefeller, is there any chance you could bring that down to 15%? If I democratize the model, which I believe I will, 20% is too large an amount for me to give up.
I don't think you understand. You're buying into the potential of the company.
I get that, but I can't give that much.
$20,000 for 20%.
Stop. This is pointless.
deal.
I'm gonna make you a new kind of deal. Using my company's background in steel, Carnegie Steel will provide all of the metal needed for your improved assembly line in a sum of $20,000. You will then produce the steel necessary for the car in a partnership. But after the $20,000 is spent, no other money will go towards your company. But the production of the metal for the company will remain. For this, I will need 40% equity in your company, as I am essentially providing all of the resources needed for your cars. Together, the influence of my company will undoubtedly allow you to reach your goal of global accessibility and produce massive profits for years to come.
Well, that's really all I want. Can you do 30?
35. Take your lead.
He's not the only one who can have mutual benefits if the company succeeds. My oil will only prove more valuable. We can improve together, but $25,000 for 20% of your company is as far as I'm willing to go.
Wow, you definitely have two great deals here that I would definitely not offer. But they seem to be excited about what they are providing.
So what's it going to be?
I'm going to go with
Down here. And don't you touch anything.
All right, Mama.
Hello, Mary. Why, what's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here waiting for my mother.
How about a bottle of Coca-Cola?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Tompkins.
Welcome back to Shark Tank. Here, a bidding war broke out between Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller over Henry Ford's Ford Motors Company, driven by his Model T. Ford now has to pick between a 35% stake in his company with all steel resources and $20,000 provided by Carnegie, or $25,000 for a 20% stake in his company by Rockefeller.
I'm going to go with Carnegie. I'm sorry, Mr. Rockefeller, but I feel I have a better chance of attaining my main goal this way.
We have a deal!
Right. Thank you, and thank you, Sharks. I appreciate your time.
Good luck.
You lost out, John.
I did.
Now, who
would like to move
forward? Now, who would like to move forward with me?
No, Graham, be like forward word.
So now, who would like to move forward with me?
Don't forget that what you say is the car is the same as others, but just simply costs less.
Please redo that. You did that in the middle of it too. I regret not making me an offer.
Come on, Morgan. You can't buy it in the long run?
He's on faith.
Raj, you gotta be active.
Alright, let's go.
3, 2, 1, go.
I cannot say that that's wrong.
So you're coming onto this.
Wait, you can pause.
No, because I was waiting for
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's gotta be
Okay.
fluid. It has to be fluid.
It's okay even if you like interrupt him a little before.
Yeah, like actually
Yeah.
interrupted.
I cannot say that that's
So
wrong.
you're
but-
coming onto the show.
Too soon, Raj.
That was
Oh,
you
no.
got a shot.